Hello everyone, my name is Vedant and welcome to Markets Daily, a daily stock market insights and analysis podcast with Bajaj Broking. Our mission to bring our listeners, that's you, the daily financial news and advice that you will need before the markets open so that you can make the best decisions when it comes to improving your finances. Along with this program, if you require any more information, please do visit www.bajajbroking.in. Starting with the top 5 news headlines for the day, NMDC has increased its lump ore price by 400 rupees and fines by rupees 200 per ton. Promoter Group is likely to sell its entire 5.45% stake worth approximately 536.5 crore rupees via block deal at an offer price of 87 rupees and 50 paise to 91 rupees and 65 paise per share in SBFC Finance. And moving into more medical news, Uttarakhand has revoked the licenses of 15 Patanjali and Divya pharmacy products. RVNL has received a letter of award for a project worth approximately 438.95 crore rupees from Southern Railway. And lastly, KEC International has received new orders worth approximately 1036 crore rupees across its various businesses. Those are the top 5 news headlines for the day. If you want to check any headlines that we might have missed, please be sure to check the description box of this podcast episode. Now, before we move into the global market insights, let's quickly go over the FII and DII sales data for yesterday. The FII's net buy stands at 169.09 crore rupees and the DII's net buy stands at 692.05 crore rupees. With that, let's move into the global market insights. US stocks gained ground on Monday and the yen surged amid suspected intervention as investors embarked on what promises to be an event-packed week. All three major US stock indexes ended green, extending Friday's rally at the onset of a week filled with high-profile earnings, crucial economic data, and the US Federal Reserve's monetary policy meeting. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 147.4 points, or 0.39%, to close at 38,387.06 points. The S&P 500 gained 16.19 points, or 0.32%, to close at 5,116.15 points, and the Nasdaq Composite added 55.18 points, or 0.35%, to close at 15,983.08 points. This week's data releases include European inflation and US labor market indicators, while the Fed on Tuesday started its two-day meeting, at which it is expected to keep its key interest rate unchanged, but strike a hawkish tone. Earnings season shifts into overdrive this week with high-profile results expected from Amazon.com, Apple Incorporated, and others. And in the Asia Pacific, markets were largely set to extend gains on Tuesday, tracking Wall Street moves, with investors awaiting China's Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index for April. Japan's Nikkei 225 climbed 0.98% as traders returned from a public holiday, while the broad-based topics was up 1.2%. South Korea's Kospi was 0.23% higher, while the small-cap Kosdaq rose 0.26%. With that, we have exhausted the insights about what's happening outside India, so let's move inwards to look at the Indian markets and indices. The GIFT Nifty suggests a flat to positive opening amid strong global cues, and the Nifty Spot is expected to trade with positive bias in the range of 22,570 to 22,770 levels. For the Nifty short-term outlook, benchmark indices witnessed a strong pullback as it started the week on a firm note amid strong global cues. The Nifty opened the gap up and extended the up move as the session progressed and closed the session near the high at 22,643 levels, up by 1%. The Bank Nifty led the up move and closed the session at an all-time high at 49,424 levels, an uptick of 2.54%. Broader markets maintained positive bias as the Nifty Mid-Cap and Nifty Small-Cap closed the session higher by 0.4% and 0.2% respectively. The index has formed a bull candle with a higher high and higher low, which does signal positive bias. The index is in the process of closing above the last week's high, highlighting strength in the markets as well. Index bias, as we mentioned, remains firmly positive, and a follow-through strength will open upside movement towards the all-time high of 22,775 levels in the coming sessions. Volatility, though, is likely to remain high in the coming sessions on account of the FOMC meeting outcome on Wednesday. The short-term support for the Nifty is revised higher and is currently placed at 22,000 to 21,900 levels, being the confluence of the lower band of the rising channel in place since January 2024, and of course the 61.8% retracement of the current up move. And for the intraday levels for the day, for the Nifty, intraday resistance is situated at 22,710 levels, followed by 22,770 levels. Conversely, downside support is located at 22,570 levels, followed by 22,510 levels. For the Bank Nifty, intraday resistance is positioned at 49,680 levels, followed by 49,900 levels, while the downside support is located at 49,250 levels, followed by 49,010 levels. And lastly, for the Fin Nifty, intraday resistance is positioned at 21,900 levels, followed by 21,980 levels, while downside support is found at 21,730 levels, followed by 21,650 levels. And for the derivative data analysis for our indices, starting with the Nifty, as mentioned in yesterday's option chain analysis, a strong up move has been observed once the Nifty sustained above 22,500 levels. As the highest call was at 22,500 levels, and as the Nifty sustained above that, the call writers were forced to book losses, which led to a short covering rally as expected. Now, the highest call open interest has been shifted to 23,000 levels, and the highest put open interest stands at 22,500 levels. The puts are written across all strikes till 22,950 levels. The highest addition of call open interest is observed at 22,850 levels. The 22,850 level has the second highest call open interest as well. It means 22,850 levels is the immediate resistance for the Nifty. And due to aggressive put writing, the overall PCR open interest has improved by 0.27 points to stand at 1.23. The second May option chain PCR open interest has also improved by 0.38 points to stand at 1.13. This is a bullish data point for the Nifty. And moving to the Bank Nifty, we have a weekly expiry for the Bank Nifty today, with the Bank Nifty outperforming Nifty to close at an all-time high. The option suggests a range of 49,000 to 50,000 levels, and the highest call open interest stands at 50,000 levels, whereas the highest put open interest stands at 48,500 levels. A strong 2.4% up move with massive surges in Bank Nifty futures COI of 26% has been observed yesterday. Like with the Nifty, this is a strong bullish data point for the Bank Nifty, and due to the strong up move yesterday, the momentum indicators are overstretched, so range-bound move is likely on the weekly expiry session. In case the Bank Nifty sustains above 49,500 levels and the 49,500 to 50,000 call writers start running away, then continuation of the up move is possible towards the 50,000 level. With that, we have exhausted all the news and insights about the equities market. So let's move into our final section of this episode, the other asset classes. Japan's yen jumped as much as 5 yen against the dollar, igniting suspicions, as mentioned before, that Tokyo intervened in the currency market for the first time in 18 months. As a result, the dollar index fell 0.3% to close at 105.63 basis points. US Treasury yields pulled back from last week's high ahead of the Fed meeting and crucial economic data expected later in the week. The yield on benchmark 10-year notes closed at 4.614%. Crude oil prices slid as Israel-Hamas peace talks lowered the geopolitical temperature in the region and tempered fears of a widening regional conflict. US crude dropped 1.45% to settle at $82.63 per barrel, while Brent settled at $88.40 a barrel, down 1.23% on the day. Gold prices edged lower as investors await crucial data and potential clues regarding the Fed's rate cut path. Spot gold dropped 0.1% to close at $2,335.71 an ounce in valuation. And with that, we have reached the end of today's notes, and we need to start getting ready for the markets opening later today, as I'm sure you do too. As always, I hope you all have gotten something meaningful out of today's program, and as mentioned before, for more information, please do visit www.bajajbroking.in. This podcast was made possible by the good people at Bajaj Broking, and we can't wait to bring more financial news and analysis to you when we return tomorrow morning. Cheers, everyone.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risk. Read all related documents carefully before investing.